How many times have you been beaten since then? What has been the abuse since then? I have no idea. I don't want to understand either. I don't even want to think whose blood is from the bright red water spring spreading nearby. The world whispered to me, "You are Bel Cranel of the family of the goddess of beauty," and every day I experienced baptism. In that desert of battle, I was no match for the current baptism. Pain, misery, hell on a whole different level. Even if one climbs a peak that others would turn pale, they will never be able to reach the thunder and lightning galloping in the sky. Even if it is really enough, it must be burned by it and go to the fate of perishing. It could be said that the warrior who was still looking at Bel was the representative of thunder. For Bel, who can only control flames and lightning so far, being swallowed by them is the doomed end. The white rabbit Bel Cranel will definitely not be able to win against King Otter. Even so, his hands were shaking violently. The knees are not in control, just like the newborn deer. Even so, spitting out clots of blood, causing the flash to explode into view, ripping the body off the ground. In front of the Tamirer, Ina, Aze, Tiona, Finn, Rai, Fina, Lu, the adventurers and the townspeople, and the gods like Hermes, all looked into their eyes to the limit. He held the cracked stone slab with his hands, and stood up along with the dagger he held tightly. That's right. Get up. There was only one person, and Otter's expression remained unchanged. There is no feeling of welcome. I just made a certainty. The warriors of the Werbord type are just warriors who assert battles. If you don't defeat it, you can't go to Ms. Freya. You can't save that person. I won't allow it. That's easy. There is only one thing Bel must do. Then defeat. In this endless baptism, kill yourself whoever feels the end of yourself, cut off fear, overcome despair, and recover the reason why you must fight. Think about it. Bel Cranel, who has been crying since that day. Below you. With eyes that had regained their light, he declared with a firm tone. Thinking about it now is still very out of bounds. The light made the field of vision flicker continuously, and the thought was interrupted several times, and the consciousness was also intermittent. But only with a defined fighting spirit and conscience, ninth soul here. The previous me felt the end, so as long as he became stronger than the me a second ago, it would be fine. Bel wants to go beyond this stronger baptism, to get to know her. That's right. Come here. The warrior did not smile. The goddess's strongest follower just raised his sword. Go crazy. Facing the rabbit with its fangs bared, spitting blood and letting out a growl, the ferocious boar attacked from the front. Master Bel. The crystal held tightly in Lily's hand reflected the figure of the young man who was blown away by the wind and his blood splashed everywhere. Even overcome by fear, Bel remained still. Although he was once suffocated by despair, he still fought against the strongest. So, Lily must also resist this strongest army, otherwise his words will become lies. I have to support him as a support boy, otherwise why would I be in such a place? So don't give up. Even if everyone gives up, only Lily can't give up. She kept turning her brown eyes from a position overlooking the battlefield, updating the desperate battle situation. One person. Only one first-level adventurer needs to be defeated and the direction will change. This result will definitely cut off the direction of defeat, a reversing tide is created. She knew very well that this one person was very far away. She didn't need to be told, she understood that in that situation it was just a dream, a daydream, nothing but roles that would invite ridicule. The form has already been drawn up. The preparation has been completed. The form to be intended by the enemy first-level adventurer has been decided. Therefore, there is still one step to go, just find a way to take another step, but Lily kept groping. Her entire brain was overheated and her vision was tinged with a layer of red, but she was still thinking. Above the grave, alone, this is the battle of the lone commander. Welf and the others were defeated and Belle was all injured. Instinct and emotion have long panicked and screamed loudly, only rationality is still wearing a steel mask, tightly protecting itself. Lily didn't give up thinking. In this situation, only she tried to remain calm. Remember. In this situation, Lily must use Lord Hedin. This is exactly the teaching of the braver of that family. If you're going to be a commander in this battle, you have to be desperate from the start. This was 5 days before the war game. Finn said this to Lily, who was constantly being lectured. Despair. Transform into magic, be a scout or disrupt the situation, but I don't know how effective it will be. Hearing Finn say that in a voice without malice, I obviously believed in his personality. Telling him about the strongest hand, Lily couldn't help but stare at him. It still hurts Lily's heart when you say that so clearly. It's the truth. And now you have to face the reality that is before you. That is, the irreversible, combat power gap. It's more important than that, commander's mental preparedness. Lilaruka Arti. To be a commander, you have to be calmer than anyone else, no matter what the situation is. Compared to a rearguard mage, you have to be much calmer. You also need to be calmer and cruel. Sometimes. Finn, who knew that Lily wanted to be by Belle's side, had a smile on his lips for a moment. I will use everything. Inspiration, events and even the sacrifice of my companions. So, you who don't like sacrifice, you have to use everything more than me. No. To fall all the nearby stones become cards in your hand. Keep thinking and looking for opportunities to win. Finn will not stay on the battlefield that day. You can only find it with your own eyes. In desperation, look for that ray of light thinner than a hole. Otherwise, the faction and coalition forces will not be able to win. Your judgment and orders must lead everyone to victory. Finn left her a project to finish and then stated. Lilaruka, I have another question for you. Who do you think is your enemy? The entire army called, Freya Familia. The brave man who taught various strategies until now has entered a deeper field. The person you should watch carefully now is the person who is your commander. A shock passed through Lily's wide eyes. This means. Yes, your enemy is Hedin Selland. The beauty god faction strategist, that cold mind. The direction Finn pointed out to her was to carefully observe that enemy is limited. In extreme terms, other first-level adventurers will hand over powerful enemies to their companions, and Lily should only focus on Hedin, she explained. If I compete with Hedin in a strategic competition, I will lose 4 times out of 10. And I can beat him because of my thumbs, pain in the thumb, cheating method. Finn shrugging his shoulders, he immediately came to a conclusion. This conclusion is very simple, but it is more difficult for Lily than walking through the deep layers of the dungeon. If you want to lead the coalition forces to victory as commander, you must use Hedin. You didn't defeat him as a commander by guessing his opponent. That's impossible. There is a gap in the length of service as a military advisor. There is a gap between the ability to have an idea and the structure of the mind. A small human who was in charge just a few months ago would never win against a wise elf that has passed through the ages, Finn stated. Use Hedin's tactics, strategy and thinking. Find out his purpose and then don't set a trap, but turn in the same direction as him. It's as if too much power destroys your body instead. Finally, Finn said with a smile to a perplexed Lily. There is no perfect battle. There is no winning strategy, or invincible formation. Everything is imperfect. Go seize that loophole, the true meaning that Hedin has skillfully hidden. Master Finn told Lily the answer from the beginning. The memory is halfway there, and now, with real experience, she finally understands the words spoken by Finn. There will be no perfect battle, exactly. Even though the gods are being crossed one after another, Lily is still looking at a bloody road at first glance, which seems to be a hopeless situation near the end. There is no infallible strategy and no invincible formation. Some are just the true meaning that leads to the destination described by the commander. So now we need to figure this out.